It's 5:30 on this beautiful summer afternoon here in New Hampshire. You'll see behind me here a gigantic field that looks pretty well maintained. There's a lot of property around, and I actually just secured this permission a little over a week ago. So this road right here that leads down into the woods, that was actually a trail that I had made my way out of in search of cellar holes up on the hill just beyond where you guys can see that stone wall there leading down into the woods. When I got up to the top of this trail and I saw what you see behind me, I needed to stop and ask for permission. Thankfully, as I was driving by, there was a gentleman here with his kids. I found out really quickly that the gentleman was from out of state, but his father, who owns this land, was local, and he was willing to chat about me coming up and doing some detecting. So at one point, back there on that hump, the gentleman's house once stood. That's where he grew up. That house was built, I think, very early 1800s, maybe late 1700s, but sometime in that time frame. This land was used for many, many years, farming, agriculture, raising cattle, sheep, and so on. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna grab my stuff. I'm gonna hit the ground running, and let's see if the next few hours can produce some cool relics for you guys to see. Stay tuned, and should be a fun evening. I've been making my way through here. This is the rectangular section that I wanted to get into first before going out to where the old home used to be, up on that hump there and out in the field. As you can tell, this ground is quite gravelly. There's a lot of rocks. It's not really the easiest to dig in. It's not too dry, but it's still pretty tough to get into with a shovel. I had a target about, I don't know, 6-7 inches down, and I think I mangled it. There are other pieces in there. It wasn't full. There's just a few other ones in there, but I think that's just part of an old pewter spoon handle, and that would be the top. You know, the shaft would come down to the spoon bowl itself there. That's what I'm assuming, but that's definitely pewter. So it's old, and it shows that we're onto something here. So I'm gonna put it away. I don't have long today or this evening, so I'll get right to it and see what else we can find. Well, all right, I guess it's gonna be a spoon kind of day. Well, it shows that there were people around long ago, and I've got plenty of land to explore, so I'm not gonna frown on relics like this right off the bat. So I'll keep at it, put this away, and I'll see you guys at the next target. I'm trying very hard to get into some relics. As you guys have seen, I've got those spoons. But yeah, I guess people were just out here in this section eating. Old Farmer John probably just brought his lunch out with him. I don't think that's quite old. It's older, but not very old. So let's see if there's any coins in it. That would be kind of neat. Now, if not, I'm just going to clean it out. And, what was that? Nope. Not this time. Sometime, maybe, we'll find something full of coins, but for now, it's just an old pot. I'm not going to take that out with me. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it next to the stone wall here. I'm going to let the landowner know that it's there. It could belong to a relative of his. He might recognize it. Who knows? So one thing that I did want to say is, I don't believe I said it in the intro, where the house once stood up there, it had burned in the mid-1900s. So obviously there's not a house still standing there. They did keep the land, and as you can see, they maintain it very well. Near and dear to him, to his family, and who knows, maybe this doesn't really mean a whole lot to me, but it could mean the world to him. So I'll let him know that it's here, and I'm gonna carry on and see what else we can find. So I'm gonna leave that section there. I'm not getting into much at all, just a few old eating utensils, that old pot, and some iron parts. What's really calling my name is down here behind the old barn site. It's a nice little flat piece of land. Grass looks very well groomed, and it's just calling my name. So I want to get out there before sundown and see what else I can find. It's just a matter of getting on top of wherever those relics are, and who knows what'll come out of the ground. Now you can see why I wanted to come down here versus up there. The ground has also been worked, so it's easier to dig into with a shovel than it is up the other way, because it's just all rocks up there. Down here it's a lot more few and far between on the rocks. The ground is still dry, and right out of there just popped that big old thing. So I'm not an axe expert or an axe head expert. I was thinking that was just an axe head, but what I think it actually is, because of how it bows out right here and on the other side, perhaps that's a wood splitter. I don't know. I'm going to clean this up just like I do any other old iron relics and see what we got. Sometimes there's a maker's mark and you can actually date these axe heads, but right now it just looks like an old piece of iron junk. But to me, there's something buried within, so I'll see what I can find out. I'll clean it up, and if it's worthy of rehanging and putting up on the wall, that's where it'll go. Right out of that hole. I was a little worried because I popped out a piece of glass, and the tone that I was getting wasn't really the best, so I was thinking maybe it was just a top to a bottle, but I kept digging, and out popped an old iron buckle. The pin is rusted just like that, but that would have swiveled back and forth. And there you have it, probably some horse tack. I am right next to the old barn foundation, so that's probably what I'm going to be getting into, are these old iron relics from horses and livestock and whatever else they were driving out here. Still a neat relic, and I'll put it in with the collection and keep on moving. So right here I have a pretty good mid-tone. Nice small target. So let's see what we have. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's a button. Let's get in here with the pinpointer. Nope. That is a bullet that hit something absolutely right smack dab in the middle and flattened out like a pancake. And you can see the lines of where it hit and just exploded or just spread right out. But that is definitely lead, and that's the back end of a bullet. But I had to throw that in there. Very cool. Just like any metal detectorist, when they get onto a big piece of property like this, they need to move. So I've come from way down there. I've been kind of zigging and zagging all the way up through here. I finally got somewhat of a decent tone, and that's right, you know me. There it is. I guess that makes it an official episode. I got myself an oxen shoe for the evening. I'm running out of daylight, so I'm going to keep at it, see what else will turn up. Swinging along, and it's nothing old, but it's a surface find. I'm 25 cents richer. I'll take it. So again, I'm just up here. This is an area that I plan on bringing at least Jim, possibly Kendall. They want me to keep it at a minimum of how many people I have up here, but for now, I'm just poking around, Trying to find those little areas of relics. Hopefully things that people have left behind, even other metal detectorists and so on. I am going to be heading back up to where I first started because that pewter spoon handle, it's the oldest relic really that I found today. So I'm going to go up there. I'm going to finish the evening off there. It's close to the truck. And let's see if we can turn nothing into something. That's where I started on the other side. I'm starting to think there's a lot of fill over there, maybe from way back when, but come over here. I dug a nice solid mid-tone. I got a button in the plug here. Nothing too fancy. I don't see any writing or anything on there, but hey, it's an old button and I'm not going to complain. I'm running out of daylight here, so I'm going to keep going and hopefully I can pull out another relic or two before the day's end. Can you see it right there? Nice solid coin tone, and I just popped out an old ox knob. And man, that's green. So I guess with the oxen shoe and now the ox knob, it makes sense. I think I'm in a nice cattle pasture here. But hey, it shows history, and I'm not going to complain at all. It's not the coins, it's not the shiny stuff that we dream of finding out here, but it's history. So I filled that plug in and I swung back over it. I had another solid tone there, and I should have really looked. That's my first ever ox knob spill. Two in the same hole. Unbelievable. And for proof, there's one and there's the other. Very cool ox knob spill. Well, I dug those ox knobs right there, and I'm making my way back to the little road here to walk back to my truck. And wouldn't you know it, another tone, another oxen shoe. So yeah, I'm definitely in an old pasture, an old cattle pasture. But then again, I mean, they use these to move all the trees and rocks and everything else, so who knows. But you get into a good concentration like that, it's pretty clear that I am where they used to live. So another one for the collection. It's not really the greatest, but I'll put it away. And I've got a little bit more real estate here before I get to the truck. I was going to just walk the road, but I'm probably just going to meander on down this way and hop on over to the truck before it gets dark. And of course, as the day ends, I start getting into the relics. And right from down in the sidewall there, just popped this old musket ball. And I don't know if that was fired or what, but yeah, it's an old bullet, that's for sure. I'll take it. So I guess it wasn't a bad evening, just about a 3.5 hour hunt. Big piece of property, brand new permission. I had to bounce around a little bit. Did find some relics. We've got the 2 ox shoes, of course. I always find those ox shoes, along with the first ever spill ox knobs, that's pretty cool. That's going down in the books for me as first ever spill of ox knobs. The old spoon that you guys saw me dig early on, along with the, I believe that to be part of a pewter spoon. We got that musket ball quickly at the end there. Prior to that, I got that old button. That's a really nice button. Unfortunately, there's no design on the front. I might be able to see if there's anything written inside there, but very cool button. Lead pipe. I did get a Rains guide. It was close to the surface. As you can tell, it's been pretty weathered. Find a whole bunch of those. A couple old iron buckles. That piece of glass, like I said, that can go into the junk. And a piece of fitting for some piping. Of course, that. Thought that was something unique. I mean, it is unique, but I thought it was an old relic. It's just a bullet smushed, hit something square on. Still kind of neat, and I'll take it home, put it with some of my other stuff that I find interesting. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is an area that I will be back to. Like I said, I'll bring Jim, Kendall, and those guys up here. Plenty of land, as you guys have seen. A lot more history buried in the ground here, so we'll keep at it. We'll be on the hunt for history again here soon, so stay tuned to future episodes. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy hunting.